Friends say he was the kind of person that everyone liked. How they're remembering a Kentucky National Guard soldier who died in a fiery crash.
Police arrest a man they say broke into a Frankfort home and attacked a woman inside. What we've learned about the suspect.
GOP gubernatorial candidate Jamie Comer says he does in fact want a recanvass of yesterday's historic primary.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. His friends say they are devastated. Tonight, we are learning more about a Kentucky National Guard soldier killed in a fiery crash on Interstate 75.
34-year-old Jonathan Roark and another man died yesterday in the crash in Rockcastle County on the interstate. Jordan Valines talked to some of Roark's friends about how they want him to be remembered. It's our top story at 6.
Oh, my God.
Friends of 34-year-old Jonathan Roark say he was on his way home from Frankfort, where he had gone to fill out paperwork for his job, a job they say that he lived for, a job they say he loved.
He was very passionate about being a soldier. He loved being a soldier. That was, something that he really was passionate about.
Friends tell us that Jonathan Roark was a sergeant with the Kentucky National Guard. They say that he had been working here since 2007. They say he was a people person, passionate about the outdoors, softball, and especially spending time with his 3-year-old son, Cameron.
Oh my God, that was his world.
When you look at him, you can see Roark in him because they're a spinning image.
His friends asked that we only use their voices on camera as they shared with us the love, respect, and admiration they had for the best friend they knew simply as Ro.
Greatest guy, never had an ill word to say to anybody and do anything good for you.
Because they say it is not how a man died, but how he lived, in which his legacy lies.
He was somebody that everybody liked. Everybody had a kind word to say to him. He was the type of person that you strive to be like, that you want to be like. And, I think that he made everybody around him a better person because of that.
In Barberville, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Officials with the Kentucky National Guard could not comment on camera, but they did tell us that their thoughts and prayers are with Jonathan Roark's family. A man injured in a Jessamine County crash has died. The Fayette County Coroner's Office has identified the person as 25-year-old Joshua Lawson. Investigators say he died at UK Hospital of multiple blunt force injuries. Yesterday, Nicholasville police say Lawson lost control of his box truck after a tire blew on US 27. They say the truck then slammed into the back of a tractor trailer.
New tonight, Lexington police say they have connected a man to a series of burglaries and thefts around the city. Police charged 23-year-old Hugh Sullivan with burglary, fraud, and theft. Lexington police say they arrested Sullivan after a burglary on Bay Meadows Drive over the weekend. Police say they've also linked Sullivan to some home burglaries and credit card fraud cases. Police first said they had linked Sullivan to more than 100 car break-ins, but later changed it to multiple. Lit shocked a neighborhood. A woman attacked in her Frankfort home. Police called it a random crime. Now, nearly a week later, police say the suspect is in custody. Frankfort police charged 24-year-old Matthew Hyatt with burglary and sexual abuse. He pled not guilty to the charges this morning. As Sean Moody tells us, police say Hyatt lived near the victim.
Frankfort police say incidents like this are rare in Frankfort. They say the woman did exactly what they tell anyone to do, fighting off an attacker. Now, a man who lives just a short walk from her home has been charged. Police say Matthew Hyatt went into a woman's home on Hawthorne Drive back on May 15th and tried to sexually assault her.
Crime like this in Frankfort, Franklin County is rare. But anytime something like this happens, fight as hard as you can. If someone encounters you and is there to do you bodily harm, do whatever you can to get away.
That's exactly what police say the woman did. They say that man got away. In the days since, police say they got tips that led them to Hyatt. He turned himself into police Tuesday night. According to an arrest warrant, he lives on Bellwood Court, not far from the woman's home. He's now charged with burglary and sexual abuse. That woman said she'd never seen him.
It appears right now no relationship. Obviously, we're continuing to investigate it. It's still an evolving type of case.
Now, we did put a request in at the Franklin County Regional Jail to talk with Hyatt. He did not want to do an interview. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Hyatt is being held on a $25,000 bond.
This afternoon, Republican candidate for Governor James Comer made it official. He is requesting a recanvass of the results of the GOP primary. Vote totals show Matt Bevin with a razor-thin 83-vote lead over Comer. It is the first time in Kentucky history that there will be a recanvass in a governor's race. Phil Pendleton has the latest from Frankfort.
It was a wild night of ups and downs for both the Bevin and Comer campaigns, but when the final tally of victory of just over 80 votes was announced, Comer said he would want another check.
And I owe it to our supporters to ask for a recanvass in this election.
That request became official late Wednesday when the Secretary of State received a written order asking for the recanvass of every voting machine and absentee ballot in Kentucky.
And then by law, the statute provides that the recanvass is conducted by the County Board of Elections on May 28th, starting at 9 a.m.
Secretary Grimes says they went through all the records, they looked at the archives, and they said they could not find any record of a recanvass in any previous gubernatorial race. Grimes says there's been recanvasses in other races.
Prior to my tenure, statewide recanvasses that occurred, for instance, when Hilda Legg and Bill Johnson ran for the Republican nomination for Secretary of State, or Lonnie Napier back in 2007 for State Treasurer.
Sometimes the vote totals changed, but the final outcome did not.
When it comes down to 83 votes, as we have here, it's to be expected. And at the end of the day, we want to ensure the integrity of the process.
Voting totals will not be official until the State Board of Elections meets on June 8th. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The Secretary of State says there are still 12 military votes that have not been counted, but that alone would not change the outcome of the GOP primary. Under state law, all ballot boxes must be locked for the next 10 days until May 29th. By noon Friday, all county boards of elections must certify their vote totals to the Secretary of State's office. And again, the recanvass is scheduled to take place Thursday, May 28th at 9 a.m.
Tonight we are tracking some rain moving into the bluegrass along with cooler than normal temperatures. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's on the First Alert Defender right now.
Yeah, getting a lot of clouds coming in, Amber, before those raindrops begin to fall. It's not a big rain event. It's some spotty raindrops here or there, some drizzle into the overnight and through tomorrow, but it's the chilly temperatures that may actually steal the show. Clouds beginning to filter in over Lexington now, Hamburg Pavilion in the distance, the overcast conditions, and those temperatures that continue to drop. 66 degrees as of now. Winds coming at us from the northeast. We look throughout the Ohio Valley, 78 London, 66 into the Lexington area, then to our northwest. We've got 40s that are showing up now across most of Illinois. Rain across western Kentucky continues to pull on into town. That's what we're going to be dealing with as we go into later tonight and for the day tomorrow. As of now, some of those drops are showing up here into parts of north central Kentucky and west of Interstate 65, especially some locally heavy downpours. Out and about this evening, thermometers will drop through the 50s. Focus of the forecast will be on not only the cool down tomorrow, but the storm issues that try to develop for Memorial Day. That's in 10 minutes, guys.
See you then, Chris. Tonight, Lexington police hope surveillance video will help them catch a woman they say stole hundreds of dollars worth of designer glasses.
This video shows the suspect at the LensCrafters in Lexington Green on April 28th. On that day, police say the woman waited until the store manager was helping another customer, then grabbed a key to a glass case. Police say the woman opened the case and took out more than $800 worth of Versace and Ray-Ban glasses. They say she put the glasses in her purse and managed to get by security alarms. Police say the woman drove off in a white Ford Focus. They believe she's an experienced thief.
A Floyd County woman charged after police say someone found her infant grandson wandering alone has pled guilty. Tammy Cooper admitted to second-degree wanton endangerment. The judge sentenced her to 2 years probation. On Monday, police say two people found Cooper's 11-month-old grandson alone on a Floyd County road. Police say the boy was dirty and wet but did not have serious injuries. They have not said how he wandered away from that home. A Laurel County father accused of putting his 3-year-old son in danger tells us he did nothing wrong. Billy Morgan says he dropped off the child at a neighbor's apartment thinking the adults there would keep an eye on him. But when police showed up later, they say the boy was with his teenage siblings who appear to be passed out drunk. Police charged Morgan with endangering the welfare of a minor. Morgan says he checked on the boy a few times and he was fine, and he also claims he didn't see the teens drinking. But Morgan says he wishes he could have done things differently.
I would never do this again. I would never. I'd have my kids right where I could see them at all times.
Police say all three children are now in the care of another adult.
Every time a threat is made against students, like a bomb threat or a threat of a school shooting, local and state agencies rush to check out the school. Authorities say you cannot gamble with the safety of students, so they treat every case like a true emergency. Last month, a threat against students in Whitley County caused the school system to go into lockdown for several hours. One of the students accused of sending the threat tells us he thinks the friend who sent it meant it as a joke. But state police say that case and the 400 other cases we've had this school year have all been false alarms, and that costs a lot of money.
This is a really big problem because kids can get hurt if it's serious, and it's taken very seriously. Kids get real scared and shook up. Parents get worried. That day there was people coming and getting their kids from school and taking them home because they were so worried. Officers there were ready to kill somebody that was trying to hurt kids.
WKYT's Mark Barber has been investigating these false alarms, and he has found just how much these pranks are costing taxpayers. We'll have the results of our investigation tonight on WKYT at 11.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Hard to believe the Memorial Day weekend is almost here, but flooding caused by heavy rains last month is still causing problems at an eastern Kentucky lake.
Officials at Cave Run Lake say some recreation areas there are still underwater, but the water level is slowly receding. Two boat ramps, Scott Creek and Alfrey, are open. Much of Twin Knobs Campground has reopened, but campers can't make reservations there until June 30th. The Clay Lick Campground and boat ramp are still closed. Lake officials say the water level is still nearly 15 feet above the summer pool level.
And we have an update tonight on the Mountain Parkway expansion project in Magoffin County. Construction started a few months ago. Crews say right now they're working on 4 miles of the parkway around the Gifford Lane area. They're moving land and installing a new bridge. Crews will soon begin work on the section around the Highway 7 interchange. They say weather caused some delays.
We had a pretty tough spring and winter this year, especially in February. During those times, it's safer for the construction workers and the traffic, to cease and halt all construction activities till further notice.
Construction in the Restaurant Row section of Salyersville is scheduled to begin next spring. State transportation leaders have not decided if they will build a new road or widen the existing road between Salyersville and Prestonsburg.